What's up guys, Matty Mo here. Samsung and HTC are the first two Android companies to release their 2015 flagship devices. We have the HTC One M9 and the Samsung Galaxy S6. They're both great phones, they both have premium designs, but how do they stack up against each other? So without wasting any further time, let's get started with our smartphone deathmatch. HTC has always taken pride in how their phones look and feel, creating these gorgeous unibody designs and more recently all metal. Samsung on the other hand has always stuck with plastic, but offering a removable back cover to allow users to swap batteries. However, this year things have changed. HTC is no longer the only company offering a premium look and feel. Samsung has released a phone with an all-metal frame sandwiched between two panes of Gorilla Glass 4. The Samsung Galaxy S6 is thinner, lighter, and even though its screen is 1 inch bigger, it also happens to be shorter. Both phones feel great in the hand and still maintain one-hand operability, but the One M9 feels more secure. The curved back and brushed aluminum doesn't feel nearly as slippery as the glass back on the Galaxy S6. Both phones have protruding cameras, but where HTC sticks out ever so slightly, the GS6 sticks out like a bad boil on prom night. They both have IR blasters on the top and a micro USB port and audio jack on the bottom. Samsung has put the volume rocker on the left side of the phone and the power button on the right. HTC on the other hand has just put all the buttons on the right side. The downfall to this is that some people find themselves accidentally pushing the power button when searching for the volume controls. One feature that is no longer available on the Galaxy S line is the micro SD card slot. However, HTC continues to have these options for those that need external storage. So which smartphone actually looks better? HTC has stuck with the same design philosophy for the past 3 years, whereas Samsung has totally ditched the whole plastic line and went for a more premium look and feel. In my opinion, they are both really good looking devices and it really comes down to personal preference. So in this round, I'm going to give both of these phones a tie. Next up is display and sound. HTC has decided to stick with a 1080p screen in a time when everyone is moving to QHD. And that's fine with me. It's still an IPS LCD3 panel and the colors look great, and it still has enough pixels per inch that you won't be able to see them when you're up close and personal. The GS6 on the other hand went overkill, and it's using a Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 2516 by 1440, offering 100 more pixels per inch. QHD or not, the screen on the GS6 is absolutely gorgeous. It has nice deep blacks and bright colors and offers superior viewing angles. And it's more color accurate than any other Super AMOLED panel before it. One feature that the GS6 has that the One M9 doesn't is a fingerprint scanner. And it's the best fingerprint scanner on an Android phone to date. It offers another level of security, and when Samsung releases Samsung Pay, you'll be able to pay with a simple touch. Let's talk sound, and there's really no contest here. The HTC Boom Sound speakers have been the leader of best sounding external speakers on a smartphone for the past couple of years, and the trend still continues today. The dual stereo speakers offer loud and crisp audio with Dolby surround sound and the choice between two different listening modes. The speaker on the GS6 rests on the bottom of the phone, and even though the sound is okay compared to the One M9, well, we'll just say there's no comparison. So what's the verdict for this round? The Samsung Galaxy S6 has the better display and the added bonus of having a fingerprint scanner, whereas the HTC One M9 has a good display but has amazing boom sound speakers. Now it really comes down to preference again, but me personally, I take the better display and fingerprint scanner over the external speakers. So this round I'm going to give to Samsung. Next up is software and performance. Both phones are really fast. The One M9 is using Qualcomm Snapdragon's latest 64-bit 810 chip, and the Galaxy S6 is using Samsung's in-house Exynos 7420 processor. Both phones feel fast and fluid, and opening up apps and transitioning through menus felt smooth as butter. But if you ask me which one feels faster, it's definitely the GS6. And one of the reasons being is because it has more efficient processor and faster DDR4 memory. Either way, you won't be disappointed with the responsiveness of either device. Software on the other hand comes down to personal preference, but I personally prefer the look of Sense 7.0. It looks cleaner, sharper, and more refined compared to TouchWiz's cartoony looking UI. Samsung offers Flipboard, which I personally think looks better, but HTC's Blink feed is definitely more practical and it allows you to plug in more feeds including your social networks. But if software features are the most important thing to you, then the One M9 has more to offer. You can customize the soft keys as shortcuts, both phones have optional themes, but the M9's is much more robust, offering a lot more choices. HTC now includes a widget that guesses what apps you need based on your location. It learns what apps you use mostly at work and home, and then stores it for you in a widget. Samsung does have multi-window, allowing you to view and run 2 apps at the same time. It also has a quicker and easier way to get to the camera faster by double-clicking the home button, which is much better than the cumbersome motion-based method used on the One M9. So what's the verdict for this round? The Samsung Galaxy S6 has faster performance and an easier way to get to your camera quicker, whereas the HTC One M9 only has a slight advantage when it comes to software. I don't know about you, but I take the faster performance and easier way to get to the camera over the extra software features. So for this round, it goes to the Samsung. Moving on to battery and storage. Both phones come with 32GB of storage space and have 3GB of RAM. However, HTC has included a micro SD card slot allowing you to insert up to 128GB of extra storage space. Samsung has always included one in the Galaxy line, but this year decided to remove it for a slimmer design. Battery life differs greatly between these phones. In the GS6 is a 2550 mAh battery, which feels quite small to power that beautiful QHD screen. The efficient processor does help, but I found myself barely making it through the day most of the time. Keeping an extra charger at work or carrying a battery pack is always a good idea. The One M9 has a different story. It has a 2840 mAh battery, which is significantly bigger than the GS6 and only has to power a 1080p screen. I had no problems making it through the day with moderate use and ending up with 25% before going to bed. Both of these phones do have quick charging, but the HTC doesn't come with a quick charging brick, which means you have to purchase that separately. However, the GS6 is able to wirelessly charge using Qi or PMA wireless charging. So what's the verdict for this round? The HTC One M9 has a better battery life and an added micro SD card slot, whereas the Samsung Galaxy S6 has wireless charging. I don't know about you, but I take the battery life and micro SD card slot over wireless charging any day. So this round goes to HTC. Finally, the camera. And if you've been following reviews on both phones, I'm pretty sure you know which one has the better camera. HTC ditched the ultra pixel camera on the back of the M8 and moved it to the front on the One M9. The One M9 now has a 20 megapixel f2.2 sensor with autofocus and dual LED flash. The Galaxy S6 on the other hand has a 16 megapixel f1.9 rear facing camera with autofocus, object image stabilization, and dual LED flash. On paper, the M9 has more megapixels, which should mean more overall detail in the photos, while the Galaxy S6 will have an edge in low light performance. The latter is true, but the former is not. And this is one of those situations that more megapixels doesn't necessarily mean better photos. The HTC One M9 has yet again unable to provide a really good camera experience. If you just care about the odd picture to social media, the camera will serve you well. But if you want the best, then you're better off with the Galaxy S6. As you can see in the photos, the HTC One M9 either over or underexposes photos, while the Galaxy S6 has a lot more accurate colors. In daylight, the HTC One M9 does a pretty good job, but slightly makes the photos a little too warm, showing too much yellow. Here are some more photos from both cameras so that you guys can compare. When it comes to video, things don't change much either. The Galaxy S6 still takes the lead. The object image stabilization does a better job with transitioning as the camera moves, while the HTC One M9 has a hard time keeping up. As you can see, the One M9 is struggling to change the focus, which makes the videos look like they are being recorded in a lower resolution. If video is your main concern, then the S6 is your better option. With the front-facing camera, HTC was smart to put the ultra pixel camera on the front of the phone, and you're going to get better low-light photos than the camera on the Galaxy S6. But in exchange for better low-light photos, you'll end up with off-colored pictures and less detail. So the verdict for this round is pretty clear. The Samsung Galaxy S6 obviously has the better camera in every single way. It takes better photos, shoots better video, and HTC has once again failed to put a good camera on the smartphone. In fact, the One M9 is only a little bit better than the camera on the One M8 from last year. So I also just want to mention one more thing. Call quality on both of these phones were good. Didn't have any issues with drop calls, and everyone who listened to me can hear me just fine, and I can hear them just fine. So what's the bottom line then? Which phone should you go out there and buy? Well, that really comes down to your own personal preference. But the Galaxy S6 is faster, has a better camera, and the added bonus of having a fingerprint scanner. Whereas HTC has stuck with the same design philosophy, has good battery life, and provides a good overall user experience. It really comes down to your own personal preference. But I know for me it's the Samsung Galaxy S6. So which phone would you guys go out there and buy? Would it be the Galaxy S6 or the HTC One M9? Let me know in the comments below. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see everybody in the next episode.